Morning. It's the softest part of the day, a time for reflection, a warm cup of tea, a moment of peace before the world stirs. But what if, without even knowing it, you've been starting your day with a habit that slowly weakens the very thing keeping you alive? Not with pain, not with obvious harm, but with quiet repetition, year after year. You see, the things we do every morning, what we eat, what we drink, how we move or don't move, can shape the way our heart functions over time. And many seniors, in their routine and comfort, carry a habit they picked up decades ago, never realizing it's quietly working against their heart. Today, I want to gently guide you through that one hidden habit, the one you may not even think twice about, but that doctors now know is increasing your risk of heart fatigue, circulation issues, and even long term failure. The good news, once you know what it is, you can stop. You can make a small shift that brings huge protection for your heart. It's never too late. Your heart still listens to your choices. So take this moment for yourself. Sit comfortably, let the morning light in, and let's uncover the habit that might be quietly hurting your heart so you can take it back with strength, wisdom, and care. Habit number one, skipping water and going straight for coffee. It sounds innocent, even comforting. You wake up, shuffle into the kitchen, and the first thing you reach for is the coffee pot. The smell warms your spirit, the mug warms your hands, and just like that, your day begins. But here's something few people talk about. When you skip water and go straight for coffee, especially first thing in the morning, your heart pays the price. You see, during sleep, your body naturally becomes slightly dehydrated. You haven't had any fluids for 6 to 8 hours, and your heart, still working through the night, has been circulating blood through a body that's slowly drying out. When you wake up and reach straight for coffee, you're not just adding caffeine, you're adding a diuretic, something that tells your body to release even more water. This can thicken your blood, increase your heart rate, raise blood pressure, and put extra stress on your heart when it's already trying to rehydrate. Now, coffee isn't evil. Many seniors enjoy it in moderation, and that's okay, but it becomes harmful when it replaces water in the early hours. Because without water, your body doesn't just feel sluggish, your heart has to work harder to pump. Your arteries may tighten, and the electrical signals in your heart, the ones that keep it beating evenly, may become disrupted. You might not feel it right away, but over weeks, months, and years, the strain builds. Your heart begins each day with a burden when it could have started with relief. So, what can you do? It's simple, really. Before your first sip of coffee, make it a habit to drink a glass of room temperature water. Even half a glass is better than none. That first drink wakes up your digestion, restores fluid to your brain and muscles, and most importantly, gives your heart the hydration it needs to beat gently and steadily. If plain water is hard to swallow early on, add a squeeze of lemon, or keep a small glass by your bedside and take a few sips the moment you wake. This is a gentle shift, but one that speaks volumes to your heart. I'm here for you. I'll start this day with you in mind. It may seem small, but the smallest changes often bring the quietest healing. Habit number two, eating a heavy, salty breakfast. First thing in the morning. For many people, breakfast means tradition. A plate of bacon and eggs, a buttery slice of toast, maybe some sausage, or even a warm bowl of instant noodles. It feels comforting, like home. You've been eating this way for years. And after all, isn't breakfast the most important meal of the day? Yes, it is. But what you eat and when you eat it matters far more than most people realize. Here's the hidden danger. When you start your day with a heavy, salty meal, your heart gets hit the hardest. Why? Because after a long night of fasting, your body is in a delicate state. Your heart is just waking up. Your blood pressure is naturally rising, and your kidneys are working to rehydrate and balance your system. Now imagine this. Into that fragile balance, you pour a flood of sodium, saturated fat, and dense calories. What happens? Your blood vessels tighten, your blood pressure spikes, your heart has to pump harder against more resistance, and your risk of fluid retention, irregular heartbeat, and heart strain increases, all before you've even left the kitchen. And many seniors don't notice. There's no sharp pain, no sudden warning, just a little more tiredness, a little more puffiness in the ankles, maybe a headache or tightness in the chest after breakfast. They brush it off as just age or just the weather. But deep down, your heart is trying to say, That was too much, too fast. So, what can you do instead? You don't have to give up everything you love, but try starting your morning with something lighter and lower in sodium, at least for the first hour. Here are some gentle, heart friendly options: a bowl of oatmeal with berries and a few chopped nuts, a boiled egg with a slice of whole grain toast, unsweetened yogurt with a drizzle of honey, a banana with a spoonful of natural peanut butter. And remember, you can still enjoy a savory breakfast, just wait a bit. Give your body time to rehydrate, stretch, breathe. Let your heart settle into the day before asking it to work overtime. Think of breakfast not just as fuel, but as a gift to your heart. A meal that says, I care how you feel today. Because when you start light, your whole day feels lighter, and so does your heart. Habit number 3: staying seated for hours after waking up. When stillness stiffens the heart, morning is a time of stillness, and for many seniors, that stillness lingers longer than it should. You wake up, you sit, maybe in your favorite chair by the window, you watch the news, sip your drink, and before you realize it, hours have passed and your body hasn't moved much at all. It feels harmless, restful even. But when your morning begins and ends in stillness, your heart feels it deeply. You see, after a full night of lying down, your circulation slows, your muscles are at rest, your blood may even pool slightly in your legs, and your heart, gentle as it is, needs your help to start pumping fully again. But if you stay seated for too long, especially right after waking, several things happen. Blood flow remains sluggish, your metabolism stays low, your joints begin to stiffen, and your heart doesn't get the wake up signal it needs to start the day strong. Over time, this habit can lead to higher risk of blood clots in the legs, increased blood pressure, shortness of breath upon standing, and even feelings of dizziness or lightheadedness. It's not about jumping up or going for a run. It's about giving your body a gentle invitation to move, to stretch, to wake up alongside your mind. So, what can you do instead? After waking, try this small ritual. Sit up slowly and drink a glass of water. Stretch your arms overhead and roll your shoulders. Stand beside your bed or chair and take 10 deep breaths. Walk slowly around your home for just 2 to 3 minutes. No rush, just rhythm. Even this soft movement tells your heart, we're ready. Let's begin today. Movement is life, not fast movement, not exhausting movement, but consistent, daily, loving movement, especially in the morning. And the best part? When you start the day by moving, even a little, it becomes easier to keep moving as the hours go on. Your heart beats smoother, your joints feel looser, your energy lasts longer. Because the body was never designed to go from stillness to stillness. It needs transition, it needs breath, it needs motion. So tomorrow morning, when you feel the pull of the chair, pause, breathe, and take a few steps toward a stronger, healthier rhythm. Your heart will thank you with every beat. Habit number 4: checking the news or phone immediately after waking up. When the heart wakes up in stress, not peace. The moment your eyes open, your hand reaches for the phone. It's automatic. Before your feet even touch the floor, you're already reading headlines, scrolling messages, or scanning the latest news. And in just 30 seconds, your mind is filled with things like rising gas prices, conflict overseas, someone's opinion online, a flood of notifications that demand attention. It may feel like staying informed, but what it's really doing is starting your heart in a state of alarm. Here's what many don't realize: your body wakes in a delicate transition state. Your stress hormones, like cortisol, are naturally rising to help you wake up. Your blood pressure is shifting. Your heart is adjusting from sleep mode to active mode. And in this fragile moment, when you flood your brain with stressful information, your heart responds instantly. Your breathing shortens, your pulse increases, your blood vessels constrict, your body enters a state of fight or flight, even though you're still under the blanket. For seniors, this sudden morning stress isn't just emotional. It can raise the risk of irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure throughout the day, poor concentration, increased fatigue, and eventually, heart strain over time. It's a silent kind of damage, one that doesn't feel dangerous in the moment, but builds slowly. And worst of all, it becomes a habit that robs you of the peaceful mornings you deserve, a habit that trains your heart to wake up in fear rather than in calm. But there's a gentle solution. Before reaching for your phone, try this instead. Sit up and breathe deeply. 5 times, open a window, feel the light, listen to birds, Say a quiet gratitude. I'm here. I made it to another day. Stretch your arms and move gently. Drink water and connect with your own rhythm first before the world's chaos enters. Your mind deserves peace. Your heart deserves calm. And your morning should begin with presence, not pressure. Give yourself the first 10 minutes of the day, free from headlines, screens, or alerts. Let your body and your soul meet the morning on your own terms. The world will still be there, but your heart, it needs those quiet moments more than ever. Habit number 5, ignoring morning chest discomfort or shortness of breath when silence becomes risk. The sun is just rising. You sit up in bed slowly, and for a moment you feel something unusual, a tightness in the chest, a slight pressure near your ribs, or maybe it's a breath that doesn't quite feel full, like you're not getting enough air. But then it fades, so you brush it off. It's nothing. I just slept funny. I'll feel better after some coffee. And just like that, the day begins, without a second thought. But here's the gentle truth. Morning is one of the most vulnerable times for your heart. Why? Because while you sleep, your body is resting, but your heart never stops. And as you transition from sleep to wakefulness, your blood pressure rises, your heartbeat adjusts, and your body demands more oxygen, all within the first few minutes of waking. If your heart is already under stress due to age, high blood pressure, blocked arteries, or past illness, this morning shift can quietly expose problems. That moment of discomfort you feel, that tight breath, it may not be random. It may be your heart's first whisper of warning. But many seniors ignore these signs, especially when they disappear after a few minutes. They continue with their routine, never realizing that their morning habit is not what they do, but what they ignore. And this habit, ignoring morning symptoms, can lead to dangerous delays in care. Because often early signs of heart trouble are intermittent, subtle, easy to explain away, but early doesn't mean unimportant. It means actionable. It means preventable. So what should you do? If you feel chest discomfort upon waking, even if it's mild, write it down. If you feel short of breath while lying down or sitting up, notice how long it lasts. If these sensations happen more than once a week, talk to your doctor. Don't wait for pain to take it seriously. The body often whispers before it screams. Your morning should begin with lightness, not pressure, with ease, not strain. And if your body is sending a signal, no matter how soft, listen, because listening is love. It's how we care for ourselves gently before things become urgent. You've lived through so much, you've learned to endure, but now it's time to respond with wisdom, not silence. Morning is sacred. It's your reset, your first breath in the new light. And what you do or don't do during those first quiet moments sets the rhythm for your heart, your energy, your life. Today, we gently uncovered 5 silent morning habits that may seem small, but over time place real weight on the heart. 1, skipping water and going straight for coffee. 2, eating a heavy, salty breakfast immediately. 3, staying seated for hours after waking. 4, checking your phone or the news first thing. 5, ignoring chest discomfort or shortness of breath. None of these habits scream danger. None of them hurt in the moment. And that's exactly why they're so powerful, because they slip into our routines unnoticed. But now, you've noticed. And that changes everything, because awareness is the first step to healing. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to give up joy or tradition. You simply need to begin your mornings with more care, more presence, and more gentleness toward your heart. Try this. Start your day with water before anything else. Choose a lighter breakfast when you can. Move your body, even slowly, for just a few minutes. Give your mind peace before giving it pressure. And listen. Truly listen. If your chest feels tight, your breath feels shallow, or your spirit feels heavy, your heart has carried you through a lifetime. It has endured sorrow, joy, loss, and triumph. It still beats for you, even now. Give it a morning that says, "You're not alone anymore. I hear you now." And if this message touched your heart, leave a comment below. Let's grow stronger together. Share this with someone who deserves a peaceful, healthier morning. Subscribe for more weekly wisdom that speaks to the heart, not just the mind. You deserve mornings that heal, not harm. And the best time to start is tomorrow morning.